Only one kid in history had ever attempted what Benny was about to. And he got eaten. So we were worried. Real worried. Even when Benny brought out the secret weapon. Shoes guaranteed to make a kid run faster and jump higher. PF Flyers.
We can't let him do this, man.
All right, welcome back. It is a Slate Laced podcast. Happy Humpy Day to you guys. Thanks for tuning in. First things first, Blair, how we doing?
Okay.
Doing all right? You care to elaborate or what?
I mean, you already know why I'm just okay.
What?
What do you mean, what? What happened the other day?
I don't know.
You don't remember me texting you?
About what?
The Jordan 1s.
Oh, so this is perfect. Blair, get into your story since we do got kind of a sporty film for you guys today. Mm-hmm. Just so you know, before I let Blair get into his little saga, because I got another saga too. We are going to be reviewing the movie Air. We would be remiss if we didn't review this movie.
Oh, dang.
Kind of the perfect episode for our podcast, right?
Yeah, I didn't even.
It just fits. It fits like a glove, you know, as our yeah. So Blair, go ahead and get into it before we get started on the review. So you tried to cop the ones because it was a shock drop. I know that.
Now here's the thing though. I will say that in your defense, besides you just being a bum and just outright dropping the ball and getting them for me, right? I mean, without that being said, you already know you messed up. So it's like I don't got to continue to harp on that and remind you for the rest of your life, you know. Keep
going.
The point being is so I didn't actually think that these would like actually just really ever restock.
Yeah.
So when I was on Sneaker News, it came to me by surprise that they actually intended to restock them and that they were going to have a hefty amount of pairs. Mm-hmm. So I was like, oh, what? Like, okay, let's go. And I remember you said just like be patient. You were like, don't pay resale because you had a feeling that you would be able to get your hands on a pair. When that's going to happen, I don't know. But so then this ended up happening, right? And I texted you, right? I'm like, hey, I gotta get these. I'm doing whatever I can. I'm gonna be up all night. And you already know what it is. So I was up all night. I already knew, 8 a.m. was the drop.
Yep.
I'm sitting there up, just on the phone, holding the phone, just waiting, right? I'm not gonna miss these. At 8, it doesn't drop. And
yeah, I saw some of the comments.
Yeah, and but no one was updating us. So we're literally just sitting here like, what's going on? I'm just refreshing my page on my phone for like 40 minutes. Just refresh. Basically every minute, just waiting for it to drop. Then I'm reading in the sneaker news page comment section where everyone's like, "Yo, what's going on? Did it drop? I don't know. What's what's going?" So then I'm like, okay, so I'm not alone. Like it wasn't like my page just didn't load over here, and I had some bad luck. I had made sure to, my card was ready. All the information.
All the tips that we gave you in the first episodes of this podcast.
Right.
Had that Apple Pay ready.
Yeah, I had all of that good.
Because who took it off that me?
Yeah, so Apple Pay, everything's set. Then I go on sneakernews.com. They kind of do a little bit of update. They're just like, hey, so Nike pushed it back like 40 minutes. Just hang tight. So I'm like, all right. 40 minutes goes by. Refresh. Nothing. I'm like, dang. Then I go on Sneaker News again. They're like, Nike pushed it back like another 40 minutes. So I wait another 40. Like, all right, refresh. Nothing. They do that about 3 times. So now we're no longer at 8. We're at about, I want to say 11 my time, the West Coast, right? So then I go on, Nike has said nothing. I'm like, dang, like what's going on? Like, is it gonna drop? Man, I'm hot, So then I doze off, right? And mistake, of course. You up all night, it's bound to happen, you're bound to crash. And then
you don't want to doze off on a release day.
So I wake up at I want to say it was either 10:47 or 11:47, and the drop was at 40.
Dang.
Yeah, and so I wake up to a text message from my friend like, "Hey, they live, like go get them." And so then I'm like clicking, and there were only 3 sizes left available in that 7-minute span, and they were like 12, 12 and a half, 13. I'm like, what? Let's go. Click on 12 and a half, add it to the cart. Apple Pay not working. It's like doing this, like it just won't let you check out. Yeah, it's just like spinning. I'm like, dang, what's going on? So it stopped spinning. So then I like go back to click my size again, and then I got hit with the error. You already saw I posted it on the page and everything.
Follow us at Slate Laced.
Yeah, and took a massive L. Went to the comment section. Everybody's hot. Everybody's been through the same thing. Like, yo, what's up with Apple Pay? What's up with Apple Pay? I really took an L off of Apple Pay. But before I pass it over to you, I was down. I was hot. I noticed everyone kind of went through the same thing, so I felt a little bit better. But what I did realize is today, Nike's going to do another restock in a week on the same shoe.
Okay. So not only is that great news, but it'll also bring down the price of the ones for resale too, because there's more pairs. So look, maybe I was right in my infinite wisdom to just hang tight. Because I was hearing
right after you dropped the ball.
Look, the ball was dropped on both sides. But also, because you were saying no to everything. Nah. So I had already thought I sent it.
That's dumb.
But look,
that's dumb because this whole episode is based off of this one shoe. The movie is based off of one shoe. So it is the single most important shoe in sneaker history. But you think that I didn't want it?
Here's where you could have went wrong though. You could have bought it for resale and now you might get it cheaper. And I had my ear to the streets, and I was like, "Nah, hold on."
You didn't have no ears to the streets.
Yes, I did, because I had
took a guess.
Look. Did I not say on here I might be able to get it? So don't buy it. Mm-hmm. Yes, I did. That's called having your ear to the streets. I told you, don't get them. I'm up there with Nike now.
Okay.
Oh man.
Now you done messed up the whole.
Experiencing some technical difficulties. But no, I'm close. I'm up there with the retail right now. Give us 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. Pause the ad. All right, ladies and gentlemen, sorry about that. We run a tight ship here, so we want to make sure we fix all our lighting and stuff before we get going. But look, like Blair said, this is a must-cop shoe for him. Look, I'm not gonna lie. When I saw him, I think I said this a couple episodes back when we had took the L initially, that when I looked at him close up, you need a pair. Like, you need them. Because the little hint of, like, vintage on it is fire. Like, I thought it was just a regular red and white, so I'm like, whatever, I don't want that. I opened up that box, I said, oh, I get it. I get why y'all want this. It's fire. So I ain't even gonna hate. The shoe is heat. Like, you need a pair. And it's just like the tongue is a little off-white. Yeah, it's quality. But look, I had the wherewithal to know, don't cop it yet. Something was gonna happen. And probably in this next drop, you might get it. And hopefully we get some to the store as well.
I hope so. But I will say that up to this point, the shoes still have not dropped in value, even though another restock
has
happened. No.
Dang.
So I'm hoping that this next one that happens next week will force it to then.
It'll have to, because there'll be too many.
It's just supply and demand,
It'll be too many out there.
Yeah.
It'll be too many out there. I'm going to get into my stuff at the end of the podcast because I want to go right in from talking about the Jordan 1 to being about the Jordan 1. And when I say that, we're talking Air, ladies and gentlemen. Air follows the story of a shoe salesman, Sonny Vaccaro, and how he led Nike to his pursuit of the greatest athlete in the history of basketball, Mr. Michael Jordan. It is starring Matt Damon, Jason Bateman, Ben Affleck, Chris Messina, Viola Davis, Julius Tennant, and Chris Tucker, among others. But that is the main cast, and a pretty phenomenal cast at that. Before we dive into the review, Blair, initial thoughts?
Come on now. Initial thoughts. You know I was hyped for this.
You was hyped for it?
I was hyped for it. I hadn't even seen I don't think I even seen the trailer just yet, but when I had heard that it was just, air, I was like, oh yeah, need that. And then when I did see the trailer, I was like, yeah, of course, I'm trying to go first weekend. And that didn't end up happening, but yeah, I mean, I was super excited because Jordan sneakers is that's everything,
Yeah, and it's pretty much what we base our entertainment on, as far as this podcast goes. But for me, I was excited, but I wasn't necessarily like hyped up to see it. I was like, all right, I definitely want to see the story, and I like these kind of documentary style movies.
Yeah.
But what got me even more excited was when people had seen it. I saw it opening weekend, but there's people that went to the premiere and whatnot, and they're like, this is the best movie I've seen in 20 years. And so I was like, relax, let me go check it out. But it was just, no, I'm serious. Like,
best movie they've seen in 20 years.
That's what I said. And that's why I was like, okay, let me go check it out. I was already going to see it opening weekend, but that's what drove me to go see it. But people were putting out reviews like that. Like, the world loved this movie. So, and you'll see it a little bit later when we get into the Rotten Tomatoes and stuff. But I was like, okay, if it's getting reviews like that, I got to check it out. So this one was kind of, my initial thoughts were just kind of, seeing what everyone else had to say, and that more fueled me to see the movie. Of course, I was going to see it, but that definitely lit the fire under me. Like, let me go check this thing out, because people out here saying the greatest, the best, the best, the best.
I know it went real well with my burrito that I was.
You snuck up in there on this burrito talk.
I had one off the truck, the taco truck.
Oh, yeah.
I had the lime.
That's hard.
And everything.
That reminded me of the time I told you I had a tamale up in there. Look, we be getting wild with these snacks. I had a straight up tamale. I was like, peeling off the little paper out there.
And the funny
Look,
thing
a
is,
snack is a snack.
Shout out to Dan Cook, but it's funny, you'll be eating and then it just goes quiet and you're just like,
yeah, you start holding it.
you just freeze,
trying. And then I'm waiting for that loud applause, and I'm like, start biting up in that thing, yeah. Yeah, shout out to Dan Cook, man.
Yeah,
shout out for sure for just talking about the movie theaters in general. But while we're on that subject, can I interject and just say what needs to stop with AMC theaters? Can we get rid of Nicole Kidman?
Oh, I know. She's
every
still
time
doing it. Like 4 years
we come
later.
to this place,
Yeah.
Matt, shut up! Like, we're over it. I thought that was just gonna be because they had just fresh.
What? We got a round of applause at mine when she spoke.
No, you didn't.
I'm dead serious. I'm dead serious, and I was like, "Dang, is it everyone's first time being back in the?"
Because that's what I thought it was. I said, okay, they're just gonna run this intro because AMC's are opening up worldwide. They're taking over Pacific theaters. I said they're trying to get a little promo, but we don't need to see her trotting through the rain in some stilettos and then walking down the aisle. We don't need. We're done. We got it. We come to this place to see a movie in excitement. We got it. We're done. Because at that point, I'm trying to get into my snack. And you're messing with the snackage. Because you know you're trying to time it out right.
Yep.
As the movie's going. And you're messing it up.
So, what's with the one in Winnetka being closed? It's not AMC, but it's just a theater. You've seen that, right? It's
yeah.
like a big
It's,
one.
it's Pacific, I think.
Yeah.
It's done. It's been boarded up for a minute. That was a nice one, though. Shout out. Rest in peace to the Winnetka Theater. But maybe it'll become an AMC too. So then we'll have that one. We'll got the Rancher.
Yeah.
The Fallbrook one. So because we not trying to. Yeah, you didn't go that one.
That? Yeah.
It's lit. It's lit. The
Where is
Fallbrook
that
one.
even at?
I'll tell you on Fallbrook in like.
Okay, I know it's Fallbrook, but what is Fallbrook?
Like before Topanga Canyon. It's like a little shopping center.
Okay.
Nah, it's dope. That's my secret one. I done gave it to the world. Don't go there, y'all. Don't go there. That's mine. That's the one in the cut. But yeah, we try to push it out to Burbank. But anyway, Nicole Kidman gotta go. That's just, I'm done. I'm over it. Every time I'm like, yep, time to get to that tamale. Here she comes. We come to this place. AMC theaters. Like, shut up. But also, SNL did like a pretty good skit on that. I think it was funny.
Oh, they did?
But anyways, guys. Also, before I get into it, sorry, we got a lot to catch you up on. I was rewatching The Last Dance kind of because of this.
Oh, okay.
And when I tell you, this man Mike, we would have been fighting numerous times. Like, it just made me, like, hate him a little bit more. Like, I love what he did. Like, as a person, he's whack. But obviously his sneakers have changed the game, and I'll always respect that. But this dude was a menace to society, for real. From the little snickering that he was doing when he was, like, looking at people's answers on the little iPad, and like the way he was going to Isaiah Thomas, and I'm out here rooting for Utah to try to win that series, and Stockton, just because I couldn't stand Mike, man. The arrogance was just too much. But I was just rewatching. I'm like, I'm not the biggest fan of Mike. We would have been fighting on his team.
He was that guy though.
He was that guy, and give him his props. And he was a competitor at the highest level, but I just can't rock with him like that. I can't do it, dude. And then he wouldn't stand up. He didn't pick a side politically. I think that's important. That's something that you got to do when you're in the limelight.
Yeah,
like you gotta, you gotta be the bigger person, and you have to want better for this world. You can't just be up in here. Well, Republicans buy sneakers. Like, bruh, you that selfish? Come on now. Yeah. But we'll get into his little contract because he kind of had a little record-breaking one. But let's get into the review, guys. You guys been waiting long enough. We went into the summary. You know the cast. You know our initial thoughts. Let's start with some of the positives here. Blair, some of the positives of the film for you?
The Porsche was fire.
That purple one? Well, purple's my color. I was like, ooh, me and Mr. Man, what was his name? Phil Knight. Yeah, we would have been best of friends.
Man. Yeah, I mean, you already know Porsche. That's the dream right there. So yeah, that car is fire. When it first came in the screen, I was like, let's go, But all seriousness though, it was very entertaining. Honestly, from the very beginning, I like how they did their best to give you the 80s and what it really felt like when the film was taking off, right? It was giving you all the pop culture, all the music, right? All the movies and the things that were going on. Astronauts going to the moon and presidential elections and things like that,
sequence,
right? Yeah. So I mean, that was very cool in how they went about that, right? Because it was just like, all right, so we're really feeling 80s now, and then the music obviously also then went ahead and set the tone, right? You were getting all those little 80s classics and stuff playing throughout the movie. Which then, like I was saying, goes into the mood, right? Because what you end up having is not necessarily like a drama in any way. It's actually sort of like a comedy, lighthearted film, right? Just kind of really on the chase for success for a lot of people in that film, being the people within Nike and how they just like wanted so much for the company and like all about this like risk taking and things like that, which was very entertaining. Also then to throw in, it was actually kind of cool to watch this film because fast forward to 2023, it's hard to picture that Nike was ever down bad at any point, right? It was hard to imagine that as like, what? Who wouldn't even want to sign to Nike? But Jordan was like really their first top guy. And then it's kind of cool to watch a film where you already know what happens, right? No
spoilers,
right? If you watch Air at any point in time from today on, even when you're like 2 or 3 years old, you already know who Mike is. You already know what Mike has done. None of this is going to be news to you, right? You're not going to sit here and watch this and go, man, I wonder what happens next. But film very entertaining. Love the cast. They brought in all the all-stars. I know you love a lot of those actors that were in the movie. From Jason Bateman, probably your number one, to Matt Damon, and it was cool just to see them like kind of collab, also produce, but also be the main characters in there as well. Man, just got a lot of positives.
Directed, yeah,
a lot of positives to say really about that film though. Just, it was cool just to see the architecture, right? The style of clothing, right? Just to see, just really everything. But my favorite piece of it is just the message, right? And like I always say, when you're watching a film like that, sometimes it resonates with you because you feel like you're on a journey as well where you are trying to get somewhere. You're not quite there yet, right? You may not be the top dog, right? But you have to have the dog in you like Mike had, right? He wasn't the top prospect, right? He got cut from the team, right? And he used all of that stuff to fuel him and to keep him going, right? And he would always come up with like little psychological games to allow him to continue to move forward, right? And all of that is thrown into this film, right? And so, you know, as a viewer like me or yourself, right, or anyone else who is watching this, right, you're like, man, there's somewhere that I'm trying to go as well, and you watching this film, and it's kind of inspiring in a way, right? And you're just seeing companies that took a chance on somebody and then had this like mountain of success, right? Like the it went past the ceiling, it went past the sky, right? Just like what they did, you could not even comprehend. You could not even believe that it was something that was absolutely possible. So, very favorable movie for me.
Yeah, no, I agree. Some of the positives for me are definitely the cast. Like they hit it out the park with the cast. Everyone stepped up and really became their roles. Even though they didn't necessarily look like Phil Knight, he still like embodied him pretty well. So
yeah, for sure.
Shout out to those guys.
What about Chris Tucker?
Chris Tucker, I don't even know. His character was Howard White. I don't know Howard White in real life.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know him, but he did a good job. I mean, Chris Tucker always brings it in every movie that he does, but I don't know that character. Like, I know Phil Knight. Like, I know Sonny Vaccaro. Like, I had seen photos of him. And then even the designer guy, the one that actually made the shoe, Peter Moore, he was kind of like odd looking like that. Like, he really was.
Before the Tinker got on board.
That's what I was going to say. Before our man Tinker came in and then
really started tinkering.
Really revolutionized. But also, the one was fire, though. So shout out to this guy.
Yeah.
And then to do the Air Jordan logo, like the running, like the jump man. I mean, like for that to be hit, like this man, I think he did pass like right when the film was kind of coming out, which sucked. But yeah, he got to get a little bit more props. I mean, he probably made a ton of money. And like,
for sure.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's crazy how they hit lightning in the bottle right away, right? It wasn't like they had 17 different mock-ups, so they made one and it was bad. He was like, nah, this is it. Yeah. And then they're just like, yeah, that's it. And I mean, we're all like, yeah, that's it, you know?
He really just came out that Jordan 1 and it was fire. So shout out to him, Peter Moore, man. He did his thing. But another thing for me is just like, it's entertaining, obviously. From the jump, like, you're engaged in the storyline. And it's not something that's like on the seat of your pants. Like, you're not, you know, it's no real action, but it is fascinating. Because you're seeing what Nike was like. You're seeing what, you know, a day in the life of, you know, this kind of basketball operations guy's doing. What Phil Knight's doing. How track and field, shout out to track and field, was just like really carrying Nike. Like, where now...
You already know.
Where now track is almost an afterthought when it comes to Nike.
Yeah, you just
like, literally. But how many day breaks you see in the background?
Yeah, how many day breaks I got?
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, no.
But I was just looking at the back. I said Cortez daybreak, like it was just fire to like.
For sure.
As a sneaker
waffle racer.
As a sneakerhead and like as a immersed in the sneaker community as we are, this is like a great like kind of film to nerd out on, I guess.
Yeah.
Because every time like Phil Knight / Ben Affleck was on the screen, I'm looking at the back of his office like, dang, look at the mock-ups, that was dope. And then just to learn like how Converse, Nike, NBA basketball shoe, as Chris Tucker famously said, how up they were. Mm-hmm. Man, now Nike done acquired them. Like now Converse is under Nike. Like, but they was fighting tooth and nails to get where Converse was. And shout out to that Converse sneaker. What was it? Something Jet or what's the one? The Weapon? Mm-hmm. The Converse high that they all wore, something like that. Yeah, that was a dope shoe though.
Well, what I was gonna
and those did retro when we were like middle school, maybe late high school.
So that's what I was gonna say is remember when we used to play growing up, it was always about wearing a team shoe. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
Basketball, I mean, it's always been about, you know, wearing the sneaker and like embodying and embracing the sneaker, right? But when we used to come up, we used to wear the team shoe, right? So you could see how the Converse or the Adidas, like that was their thing. Like, no, we're gonna make one shoe, and everyone on the team is pretty much gonna wear
and
that.
We'll give you a green one. We'll give you a red one.
The color depending on the team.
You blue, you yellow,
right? And that's how it went for when we then played growing up, right? It was never like, all right, like, well, I'm rocking the Jordan 1, and I'm gonna wear the Jordan 8. And then I'm gonna wear these Nike Pro models and so on and so forth. It was like, nah, you got to be uniform, and everyone's gonna rock it this way, you know. Yeah. So you can definitely see how that was the thing. But now it's not even like that. Fast forward to 2023.
Yeah. That was another cool thing, another positive to learn about Converse, and then especially to learn about Adidas and how that was what Jordan really was like going for. Because Adidas was a thing. Run DMC, the shell toe, people rocking them without the laces, just the tongue flapping out, getting your cardboard and being a little break dancer. Like, shout out to these. So Mike was like, I'm rocking with Adidas.
Yeah,
but
I mean, he didn't even want to go. He didn't want to sit with like crazy
so now,
to think about.
Now to know where everything's at, Adidas, again, afterthought. Like, people,
bro, why would you even do it?
But,
when you look at the picture?
But Kanye, I guess he said, I'm that man. I'm reviving Adidas. So shout out to them. But that's crazy. So for me, it's more of the history lesson, like just kind of learning where these shoe companies were, and just someone who's like so immersed in film and footwear. Like, this is a perfect combination. This was like definitely our movie, and it has our names written all over it. So I just liked learning about the different companies and how they're based in Portland. He's like, how come y'all ain't coming out to the East Coast like a normal brand? They're like, man, we like it over here snowing and being cold. Shout out to Portland. Like, shout out to the homies in Portland.
Yep.
So it was just like a great lesson for me. Like, and it was just entertaining. Like, again, it's nothing crazy that happens, but that pursuit of the greatest player and trying to be the biggest brand is just interesting to us. And I don't even think you have to be a sneakerhead, but it definitely helps.
Yeah, for sure.
But you're gonna say something.
No, I was also just gonna say the runtime was perfect. It was not long at all. Got running right away, no time wasted. I mean, it was sweet.
It's perfect. But I do have one negative. Blair, I don't know if you have any. Again, it's not a ton. I just got one that was like kind of like, ooh. But other than that, like, I didn't have too many. Okay,
really, it's just nitpicking for me. It's just some of the song choices I felt like didn't really fit too much. There was some of the little, like, details and stuff that they would do.
I feel like there was one banger, and then I don't really remember the rest.
Yeah, it didn't really work, I don't know, too well for me. I thought the intro in the beginning was a little too long for me, but it's really just grasping at straws here. It wasn't like plot things that were truly overwhelmingly like, all right, man, this is making it very difficult to watch this
Nothing
film.
with the plot.
So for me, it was, that's really it. I'm grasping at straws here, but it was really not many negative things about this film.
Yeah, I would agree with that as well. Not too many negatives. Nothing was wrong with the story. Obviously, I think it was well written, well directed. But the one thing that bothered me was that they wouldn't show Michael's face. I didn't like that design choice or that cinematography choice. It was weird. It was distracting. And I know that they did that because they're like, we don't want to focus on Mike. Like, I think Ben Affleck had came out and said, we wanted to keep it about the shoe and the pursuit of this person.
But we already know it's Mike, so you might as well show it.
But that's what he was saying, like, you already know, so you don't need to see him. But it was just like, every time you come on, the fact that he was like hiding in that corner that one time, it was just weird. Like, just show the face, man. Like, give him 3 lines. We're not saying, like, make it, all about Mike. Just give him 3 lines. Yeah, what up, man? Don't really want to be here. Sit down. Show his face. Like, that time, they're like, yeah, right, Mike? And he was like, I was like, it's such a weird thing. So, to me, that kind of knocked the movie a little bit. Like, just show the face, dude. Like, what, you did not want to pay this man? Like, is this somebody's son on set? Like, he did get, like, a credit in there, but it was just weird. Like, so that was my only knock on that little choice. Like, I would really like to hear more from Ben Affleck on that, because it was distracting. It was like, all right, so you really, because I'm waiting, like, who's going to be playing Mike? Like, what's Mike going to look like? You just wait, and you don't see Mike at all. You just see a black figure. Like, that part was just,
always the back, corner of his head is what you would see.
That part was just dumb. Like, I'm sorry. So they gotta, lose some points on that one. But other than that, ain't nothing wrong with the movie. Like, definitely check it out. It's something that, it's worth it. But anything else, Blair? Because I'm going to get into some of the ratings here.
No, that's it.
All right. Our first rating is from the people over at Rotten Tomatoes. It got a 92% fresh. That's huge. And even more huge is a 98% audience score. So that's a dang near perfect audience score. If we slide on over to IMDb, the peoples, they got a 7.7 out of 10. And that's pretty good for IMDb, because you know how IMDb is. It's selfish.
Yeah.
You agree with those ratings?
I do, actually. I do.
All right. Well, let's get into the only rating that matters. That is the Slate rate. Blair, 1 to 5 entertainment.
5.
I feel like you just be out here with these 5s now.
Nah.
But I mean, it's something we really enjoy, so I see that too.
Yeah.
But dang, like that's still high praise from you.
Yeah, it's entertaining.
1 to 5 originality.
I mean, it's just another.
It's another documentary style,
Yeah.
but also, have we heard this story from this angle and perspective?
No, I guess not. I mean, but that would be the same thing with like The Last Dance then too, you know.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten that, so.
That's true.
Shout
Shout out to The Last Dance though, man.
Yeah,
It pissed me off. If it could piss me off, they did their job.
I like The Last Dance more than I like this, but obviously they're two different things.
Yeah. But a good thing to compare.
Yeah, I'll give it a 3.5.
Okay. 1 to 5 entertainment for me, 4.
Mm-hmm.
It was good. I just can't be like, woo, like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not in it like that. And then originality, I'll go 3.5.
Okay.
So I have it at a what, 7.5?
Okay.
And then you had it at what?
8.5.
8.5. Yeah. So that's a good rating.
Mm-hmm.
Go see it. 8.5 and 7.5. Like that's.
Yeah. But this is the
cream of the
first
crop.
time that like it's the other way around. Usually I'm with the lower and you're with the higher.
Yeah. I was entertained, but it just like I didn't feel like a 5 to me. But it's a good movie.
Didn't you give
See, Blair always do some weird stuff. Like, no, I didn't give nothing Hallmarky. No, a 5.
Oh man, Christmas in Hawaii or something?
See, there you go.
Did you give that like a 9 out of 10 or something?
There was something that, because of the originality though, I don't think it was because of the entertainment. And it wasn't on Christmas in Hawaii. But Blair always gonna do that.
Oh man.
Anytime I don't give someone a 5, he gonna be like, yeah, but you gave like the Smurfs or something a 5.
Yeah. What I can't even think of what that movie was though, but it was Christmas something. No?
It was something Christmassy.
And they were
like, because we did a whole run of Christmas
yeah,
movies.
and they were the Air Force.
Well, don't let it
pilots and
be
stuff.
Jingle All the Way.
Yeah, I know. Jingle All the Way's a 10 for you.
Yeah. So that might have been what it was. But anyways, guys, Air is something that you gotta go see. Very, very good movie. Don't run or don't walk. Run to go see this one for sure. It's definitely worth your time. Before we wrap up here, I gotta talk some basketball because I was sick the other day. Y'all know I'm a Warriors fan. We went down 0-2 to the Sacramento Kings. This whole time, I'm like, dude, obviously we're gonna win this series. Like, I know Sac been dominating in the regular season.
What? You think you guys are gonna win?
Did you hear what I said? I said this whole time I was saying, man, of course we're gonna win this series. Like Sac was like that in the regular season, but I'm like, ain't no way they're gonna do it to us. Now, am I aware of our record at away? Yes, we won 11 games on the road.
There you go.
It's not looking good. But I'm like, dude, we're getting out the first round. Like Sac ain't really like that. Sac came out and smacked us. Like 2 games in a row. So now I'm thinking like, dang, is it gonna be rough? Then this idiot, Draymond Green. Who knows? We might have this whole season to blame because when he punched Jordan Poole at the beginning of the season, that was the kiss of death for us. Now all of a sudden we can't win on the road. Now all of a sudden we got a curse and a black cloud hanging over us. It's time to release this man. It's time to let him go.
Draymond, for real?
He's got to get up out of here. You see what they did without him last night? And I was going to be on here even more angry if they didn't win last night. But thank goodness they took care of business and we went, we got one game.
I mean,
and I think we're going to even it up going back to Sac.
Yeah, but you guys are losing 6.
I don't think we're losing. I think we're getting out of the series and then we get bounced in the second round. That's what I'm thinking. Because, it's going to be tough. But, I'm glad we took care of business. Draymond unfortunately gets suspended, but at the end of the day, like, this man has no self-control. Do I think Sabonis grabbed him and was grabbing people and throwing clay to the ground the whole time?
Yeah, he plays a part.
Sure did. And then I don't get how you get suspended when the other man got a technical foul too.
Yeah.
So if they both got in trouble, why are we suspending one? Oh, because the history.
And Embiid not getting suspended.
And then Embiid did the same thing today or yesterday.
He's out with a knee injury, so now it doesn't even matter.
Well, you should have been kicking that hard, buddy. But shout out to JJ Redick, because JJ Redick really said it all on First Take, where he was going, we're talking about Draymond's history, but what has he done in the last 7 years? It's a good point. Like, he kicked Steven Adams 7 years ago.
Yeah.
Can we move on? Like, aside from that, what has he done?
Yeah.
And so that's why I rock with JJ Redick, because he really does tell the truth. And he was like, look, I was never a player that blamed the referees and the officiating, but he's like, they were horrible for Golden State. Like, and it's true. Like, we was I'm not saying Sack didn't put it on us, because De'Aaron Fox,
Yeah, he crazy.
I owe him an apology, because I said, oh, okay, my bad. I didn't know you was out here. You know, I didn't know you was a hooper.
I'm just trying to figure out why Malik Monk didn't do this with the Lakers last year. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Because Malik is a fraud. He had 4 points last night. He a fraud.
But he's had like 40 for a couple games though.
2, and then when they chuck it on the road, he was nowhere to be found. They had to put out an IAB on him. APP, whatever. Remember when Stephen A. Smith used to always say that? We gotta put out. He used to do that to Harrison Barnes all the time in the finals for the Warriors. But you know, this is what we do. We go down with the ship. What?
Well, nah, AD. We got to put out an all points bulletin on him.
Oh, Data Davis.
Davis, yeah.
Man, they tortured these players, man. But he really, when he said I can't feel my arm, I said, bruh, yes you can. It's right there. It's on your body. You got a little stinger. If you don't shut up. But yeah, one thing I do got to do, shout out Famous Los for streaming the game every time I'm live, because that's why I be locked in. But Los got the most funny commentary, so it's just funny. So if you guys don't follow him. He's a diehard Warriors fan, but he always like smack ball. Yep, Steph. That's what I said. He's like, De'Aaron, you fake. Yeah, you can fake threes. It's just funny, to watch. And then if you don't have cable like I don't, it's cool to watch the game with Los. But a couple more shout outs, Steph. Great job. No, what? Great job. Steph is the only one out here working. Somebody said in the comments, and I think this sums it up perfectly, Draymond's out here cashing check, or making checks that Steph got to cash. And that's true. Poole, get him out. Get him out the game. Get him out the game. He's messing up. He's a liability on defense. He can't stay on his feet. He like a little baby deer that just learned to walk. Get him up out of here. He's a turnover machine. I don't want to see this man on the floor. JaMychal Green, not your series. Grab some bench, buddy. Klay Thompson, you've been doing well. You're coming up in the clutch. Great job. Moody did great. Loon.
There we go. With all the rebounding.
Loon. Let's go. That's how you play basketball. Loon up here giving us second chance opportunities on offense. He's diving. He's pushing the ball out. Way to get on the floor, Loon. Way to get on the floor. That's how you get the job done. It takes that kind of effort every possession.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for Loon, Steph last night, and Dante DiVincenzo. Let's go. Y'all was really the three that carried that game last night. Now look, I have no doubt that we're going to tie this thing up. But we all got to come together. Draymond, you owe us. You owe us. He got to come give it to us. And make it up to us next game and secure this win for us. Now, as far as the second round goes, I don't know. We might get smacked. But I'm just trying to get out of round one. But in the comments, let us know if you guys like us talking sports, because I feel like this is something that we can lean into.
Oh, for sure.
We can definitely go baseball on Blair's side, football on Blair's side, because I ain't talking about those sports. But I'll talk basketball, I'll talk track with you guys. But we also have some ideas coming, things we can do for like a Slate Laced sports segment, because that is something that we do, and it is something that we do love. It's something that we want to do to share our rants and complaints. So it'll be something that we can, like First Take style, Undisputed style, bring to you guys live. We got some good ideas for that, but that's going to come all in season 2. We might say some at the end of a podcast like we are doing now. But that's some good things to come, so just keep sticking with us. Hang in there. It is the Slate Laced gang. Blair, you got anything else?
No.
All right, it is the Slate Laced gang. We out.